On today's Music Nerd, my take on Anontune, Anonymous's crack at an online music player.
Music Nerd this week.
Before I get into this, I just have to rant a little bit. Much of the reporting on Anontune, as is the case for much of the reporting on anything Anonymous related, has made Anonymous out to be something that it's not. Chris Landers, writing for the Baltimore City paper back in 2008, described Anonymous pretty well when he wrote, and I quote, "Anonymous is the first internet-based superconsciousness. Anonymous is a group in the sense that a flock of birds is a group. How do you know they're a group? Because they're traveling in the same direction. At any given moment, more birds could join, leave, or peel off in another direction entirely." In that same vein, Anontune is not an organized effort by everyone who resonates with the Anonymous philosophy. It's a project being worked on by a couple of people who just so happen to have attached the Anonymous label to it. And it's important that I begin my spiel on Anontune this way because while I personally do believe in the basic philosophy of Anonymous, I'm not so sold on Anontune. So what is Anontune? Well, it's a browser-based music service that allows users to create playlists out of music that's hosted on other websites like YouTube or SoundCloud. It follows in the footsteps of Napster and Mega Upload in the sense that it allows users to listen to whatever they want to listen to for free, but it differs from its predecessors in the sense that it appears to be totally legally in the clear because it doesn't actually host the music files themselves. It simply links to stuff that's already online. And in that sense, it's fine. I have no problem at all with how Anontune functions. But one problem with Anontune is that they seem to be looking for a fight. For example, in their mission statement video, they open it up by saying, quote,
"It has come to our attention that the state of online music has been sabotaged by the fat hands of corporate involvement."
I mean, I understand how in the wake of SOPA and PIPA and ACTA and CISPA, advocates for a free and open internet are, rightfully so, a little bit testy about all things mainstream media. But the difference between looking for a fight and simply being ready for a fight could be the difference between Anontune succeeding and failing. When you get right down to it, Anontune is trying to compete with iTunes and Spotify and Pandora and Google as their own music player, and Microsoft recently announced that they're going to be launching a competitor for Spotify. I mean, there are a lot of music players already out there, and the only innovation offered by Anontune is that it's completely free. I think that most people would rather put up with ads or pay $10 a month for a sleek, easy-to-use service than wrestle with a service as clunky as Anontune. I recognize that Anontune is still in very beta, but even if they stop touting their own nobility long enough to actually focus on end-user experience, I doubt that without a revenue stream, they'll have the resources to compete in such a competitive, fast-moving market. I agree with the basic observation by those in Anonymous that media has fundamentally changed as a result of the internet, that the concept of ownership over media doesn't make a whole lot of sense when you can create infinite copies of whatever you want. But what some who identify with Anonymous are missing is that while some in traditional media circles are stuck in the past, others are doing a pretty good job of adapting. Music is still something that we value, and as such, it still has value. We're just tapping into that value differently. For Anontune to effectively prove its point, it needs to give people something of value. It needs to bring something new to the table. And at this point, I'm not convinced that it's anything more than a mediocre media search engine. So that's what I think. What do you guys think? Check out Anontune. There's a link to the site in the description, and post a comment. Let me know if you think that the website has any potential.